kids don't want to be doctors or lawyers. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants the trips, the planes, the cars, the green, baby. But how do you do it? How do you get it? Welcome to Brain Drop. Brain Drop. The ultimate podcast where we bring you the secrets and strategies of 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs who've mastered the art of growing their companies through cutting-edge marketing and sales tactics. It's not about lame theories. It's about actionable, proven tactics that'll take your business to new heights. This is Brain Drop. Brain Drop. And now your host, Joshua T. Osborne.
Welcome to another episode of Brain Drop. Today, I'm excited to sit down with a true industry leader, Mr. Bob Hubbard, the mastermind behind RM Window Tint, a Colorado powerhouse, generating over 8 figures per year. Bob's journey from humble beginnings to really building an empire is nothing short of a fucking miracle. We're going to dive into his mindset, his strategies, and really, at the end of the day, what I love about Bob, because I've known Bob for a long time, is his relentless fucking drive that kind of propelled him and RM Window Tint to the top of the game. But with that, Bob, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
How I got started? Well, let's go back to high school as a hobby, little summertime job, and then did it through college as a part-time job, and then realized that the industry that I was going to school for, architectural design, in '89, they weren't even building dog houses with the economy. And one of the guys I was working with that I was working circles around was making about 40, 45 grand a year. And you're talking 89, 88, that's a lot of money, just for an employee.
Yeah.
So I decided that, you know what, this is going to be my full-time gig. This is what I'm going to do. And it just took off from there. I got into a couple other companies, working for another company, set them up, established them, got them running about 9 years in. Had kind of a disagreement with my Christmas bonus.
Isn't that how it always goes?
See, after 9 years of working at the place, you'd think that the guy would show a little bit more respect to the person that comes in at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Who
works until midnight.
Yeah.
And my Christmas bonus went to 0. So I decided at that point I needed to move on and do my own thing, So it was about April 2000, that I got my own shop, my first shop. 99, I started online. Well, back then online was Yellow Pages.
Yep.
Yeah. Google didn't exist. But proceeded from there and in April of 2000, opened up my first shop. And I walked in to my old job where I had a new manager that just taken over. I didn't get along with, and I got there early so I could quit. I could face to face quit with him, and the son of a bitch showed up late for work. customers standing out front, doors not unlocked. Of course, I was inside. I had a key. I was just sitting there looking at the customers outside. They're wondering, it's 8:05, and they're wondering why the hell the door's not open. Anyway, Steve walks in. And he rushes to the front so he could help customers unlock the door. And I said, "Hey, Steve, there's something I've been wanting to tell you. I fucking quit." And he's just standing there looking at me as I'm handing him the keys to the shop. And he's looking at the door to let the customers in. And he doesn't know what to do. He's like, I just walked out the door. Nobody knew I was quitting. The 2 people that I worked with in that division for many years, I didn't even tell them. I just walked out the door. I'd had enough.
That's awesome. What's crazy? So you tell that story, and I'm like, man, this is probably why you treat your employees so well. The way that you treat Joanne, the way that you treat people at your shop is fucking next level. Like, you treat them like family. At the end of the day, they're like your family, right?
Absolutely.
And so I see that rubbing off. Obviously, that guy treated you really bad around Christmas, and now you're like, I can't be that guy, right?
Yeah.
And so you see that kind of playing into your life now, which is really fucking cool.
That's why I make sure every year my Christmas bonuses are spot on.
Yeah.
I always take care of them. And the bonus grows. The longer you're there, the bigger the bonus gets, not the lower the bonus gets.
Yeah.
Right? The only time I've ever had a difficulty with employees is when they've done me wrong or they've done the company wrong. Alcoholism and drugs are prevalent in this industry.
Oh yeah.
And so you've got to watch that too, because that'll change a person's
I think in
demeanor.
most blue collar industries, that's probably the case. Because I own multiple construction companies, and so it's the same. Like gutter guys and concrete guys are notorious. I think it's any like blue collar type of hard work type of stuff, and I think that's normal. But how do you deal with it? Because I know that you can't, if you fired everybody that did drugs that came into your corporation, you wouldn't have a corporation. And so how do you deal with that? How do you work through people that may be using or that maybe have those ups and downs? Because we know that also they have mood swings, right? Like people that are on drugs. So how have you dealt with that over the years?
Well, if it's not to the extreme where they're causing damage, you mentor them.
Yeah.
If you see something in them,
yeah,
then you got to mentor them. You got to have that one-on-one conversation. And this is something that I've taught Joanne and a lot of other people that have worked for me is everybody's different. So your communication level has to be different. Some people you can be straightforward to, fuck you, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm going to slap you in the side of the head if you don't straighten up. There's those people. And then you got people that are like soft and you have to mentor them on a toned down level and find something that they're motivated about and try and keep them occupied in their mind with what motivates them rather than what they want to go do, drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody's on a different level you got to communicate with.
Yeah, constantly. Growing a company to your size, you have to deal with a lot of people, a lot of employees.
Yeah.
Constantly. How do you manage that? Because let's keep it real. It's a lot of different relationships at a lot of different times, and everybody wants something different, right? And so putting all that together, what is it like for you on a day-to-day basis going, because you got multiple shops, you're running back and forth, you're dealing with everybody from general managers all the way down to the guy that's just licking and sticking things on cars, right? At the end of the day.
Right. You've got to expect the unexpected. I mean, you come in a day and the day just goes completely smooth. You pick up a couple of new accounts, you have great conversations with customers, and the day goes great. You could come in first thing in the morning and so-and-so didn't show for work. Can't get a hold of them. Why not? We got a job pending on them. You got to figure out why, what happened. And sometimes you want a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, you son of a bitch, why are you doing this to me? But then you got to take a step back and be like, all right, well, is there a legitimate excuse? I mean, hell, I've had people with family members that have passed away, and I've had employees pass away.
Yeah.
And you've just got to like take it with a grain of salt and say, all right, well, let's deal with the issue. Let's find out what's going on first. Get your facts straight. And then deal with it. And most of the time, it's something simple. Every once in a while, you have somebody just walk out. You know, it happens, or somebody that you've got to fire because drugs have taken over their life.
Yeah,
and you just got to part ways. But hopefully, that doesn't happen.
Do you see them? How often do people try to go out and like start their own thing, thinking it's going to be easy? It's like, hey, I know how to do a car wrap now. Let me go set up shop across the street.
I've got a great story that is.
I got a million of those motherfucking.
And does it always piss you off, or sometimes you're like, hey, they left on good terms? Like, all right, I'll help you out, even, or is it?
It depends on the way they quit. It depends on when they leave. I mean, if it's just F you goodbye, and they've already got a new job planned out, or they're
taking your Rolodex with them,
whatever, or they're trying to take business from you as they leave. Well, that's you're gonna be parting on bad ways.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. Now you're my competition, and I'm going to beat you fucking down. Right?
Like I told you at the beginning, relentless. This guy is fucking relentless.
Right. And then there's the story that I wanted to tell you plays to something that just happened in the news. It's really big here in Black Forest. There was a young man named Jorge Mesa that murdered a girl that he picked up off the internet at his dad's house just a few days ago, out in Black Forest. Yeah. I've known Jorge since he was 15. I used to drive him around to rugby competitions with my boys. And when he got done with high school, my son talked me into hiring him. So I brought him in, taught him a lot of different things, I didn't teach him how to install. I taught him more on the management side and on the sales side. And I put him in charge of one of my stores. Well, him and another guy named Jason Obolensky, got together and decided they're going to do their own thing, their own business, and put me out of business by walking out on me. So I kind of caught wind of it and handled matters and got rid of Jorge. Jason quit on his own, but Jorge went out and opened up his own business. And the money that came into his hand, he turned into drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And he ended up murdering an 18-year-old girl just a couple weeks ago.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
So that's one person who left on bad terms and went and did his own shop and did his own thing and didn't work out. Most people that go out and do their own thing don't realize everything that's involved.
Yeah. Not only that, like I picked up on a big thing that you were just talking right there, and you said my kid talked me into getting him in the shop. Obviously, you've seen something flawed with his character, even back then, to where you were like, okay, I'm going to help my son out because this is like somebody he likes or somebody he enjoys. But at the end of the day, you've seen some kind of flawed character there, and it played out not just in him trying to steal business from you, but starting his own business, utilizing the money for drugs and alcohol, and then now into murdering of a young, innocent 18-year-old girl. To me, I know in our corporation, we hire on character now, right? We're constantly looking for good culture fits, and we will spend, I think we do 5-6 interviews before we hire one guy. We'll go from 50 people down to one person and hire him after five interviews.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for that culture fit. We're looking for that character, that type of character that is going to be accountable, responsible, right? Hard work ethic, that kind of stuff. And that's extremely important to us now. I know in the blue collar space, because I have concrete businesses and that kind of stuff, it's way harder to do that than in the digital space. When you give somebody a job behind a computer, it's a little bit easier, right?
Right.
So how do you go about, because you can't really, you have a harder time hiring for blue collar work. How do you go about making sure you get the right character fits for your corporation?
You don't always get the right character fits. You find out in the first 2 weeks whether you're going to keep them or not.
2 weeks.
Yeah. You'll know within 2 weeks whether or not they're going to fit in just by some of their habits that they have. And it's best just to cut ways or grow.
You're quick to fire from there. Not going to let them sit around.
And we started doing more working interviews.
Yeah. Tell me about those.
So we'll bring somebody in and say, I'll pay you for a day. Here's a couple $100.
Yep.
Show me what you can do. And you'll see the quality of the work, maybe their work ethic. We'll see how long their lunch is.
Yeah.
What's
too long of a lunch?
Anything over an hour.
Yeah.
Sure. I usually tell people 45 minets is your lunchtime so that they're back within an hour.
Yeah.
You tell them an hour, it's an hour and a half.
15 minutes.
Yeah. It's like when the cat is away, the mice will play, and it seems like lunch is that time, so they kind of get out there and try to do their own things. So you can't. That's kind of cool. So you just that would be good. I need to utilize that, by the way, in my companies. That would be great, because too often I get somebody out there, and for me though, like you said, it's like they'll get in, and for 2-3 days they work their ass off. Everything's good. Justin's like, he's the manager of my gutter company. He's like, oh, this is going great. This guy's awesome. And then the 4th day, he's like, dude shit the bed. Like, fucking got up on the roof, wouldn't fucking move, hung 30 feet in a day. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. And so, I think I need to work those in. So that's a good thing to learn from you right there, for sure.
Well, it's kind of hard with digital businesses because it's like, you don't fucking know. You're having Zoom calls. You don't know how long someone took for lunch if they went up to Denver for 3 hours, because we all work on the computer. Yeah. It's really easy for people to make it seem like they're working when they're not. I think you at least have the benefit of at least the guy's there. Yeah, and I can see him
visually.
I can see him. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. So how is, like, currently, I don't know about your business, but for most business owners I talk to, and I manage quite a few different marketing campaigns and different stuff for businesses, coaching, etc. But I've noticed that over the last 12 months, most businesses, even if they up their marketing, they're still down on sales. How is your company going through the economy? What do you think's going on right now? Obviously, we got a huge election happening, right? Donald Trump just fucking got shot in the ear, or maybe it was a piece of shrapnel. I'm not really sure. Either way, something happened. I feel like, the country is extremely fucking divided right now, right? Extremely divided. I'm even getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I might as well just lean my way and start screaming it from the fucking rooftops, because the other side just not gonna fit in with my mindset. You know what I mean? But How is the economy and the things that are happening right now affecting your business, and how are you going through it? And here, I want to preface it to say this: you've been around since 1999. You've been through a few recessions. You know what I mean?
I was in this business in Black October '87.
The
stock market crashed in half.
Yeah.
Been through the .com bubble. You've been through that. You've been through 08.
Savings and loan.
Yeah.
So savings and loan crisis. Yeah.
So tell us, what do you think? I mean, you've been through way more than we have. What do you really think?
I've never seen us in this much debt.
Okay.
So I personally think it's not going to be a recession. I think it's going to be a depression.
Okay.
So circle your wagons, right? I don't think it's going to be easy for anybody to get through this, what's coming up. Leadership does play a great role and how well the country handles it. There are a lot of more opportunities for our next president to straighten things out, to lessen the depression, but I don't think it's I think it's inevitable. I think we're going to have it. And another thing is I keep politics out of my business.
Yeah.
Right? Straight up, first thing, I don't care who comes to the door. Business is business. I don't care what political or ideological philosophy you have.
Yeah.
I'm here to do the work on your vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's all.
And great service.
Perfect.
So I try to keep all the political and all that.
Religious and all that.
Everything out of it.
Yep.
With the customer. Of course, I have my own personal views.
Yep.
But that's the way they are, and that's the way they should be.
Yeah.
You get your business involved with politics, and it depends on where you live. Woke could be the way, or Republican could be the way, or conservative could be the way.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't play that game.
100%. Definitely want to keep it out of your business. But economy does affect your business.
Definitely.
And so have you felt any strain over the last 12 months, or has everything been
I've seen quite a few changes as far as like new car sales.
Yeah.
Take back to COVID when it was hard to get a vehicle. But the people that were buying vehicles were spending a tremendous amount of money to protect that investment. They were paying $10,000 over sticker.
Yeah.
And so they'd come in and spend another $10,000 to protect it.
Yeah.
So we've seen higher dollar tickets, but less tickets.
Got it.
And right now we're seeing car sales. It really depends on the make and the model, and sometimes even the dealership, to how well they're selling. So you got to focus on where cars are selling the most, and put your energy into those dealerships, those managers, and try and solicit that way.
Yeah.
Also in marketing, that I'm asking you to market more for Teslas, because Tesla owners seem to spend a lot of money.
We don't have to give everybody all your secrets.
That ad's doing well. That ad's doing well, by the way.
We don't have to give everybody all your secrets, but
it's pretty obvious.
I do like this. You brought up a good point here, and I remember this about you. Most people that get into business nowadays just focus online, and that's all they focus on. You know what I mean? And this kind of reminds me of back in the day. It's like back in the day when Yellow Pages was around, everybody ran to the internet when it was there. But those few that stayed in the Yellow Pages fucking made a killing, because there was still a lot of traffic there, right?
Yep.
And I've noticed one thing with you is like you don't just depend on online. You also have boots on the ground. You have salespeople that walk into these car lots, talk to these managers, create relationships, and really build yourself within that community. And I think that's awesome. I think a lot of people can learn a lot about that. Where did you get that mindset, and what got you on that zone of
relationships?
Yeah.
It started back in '99 when I realized that I was probably going to be leaving and doing my own thing. Is that my relationships with the people that were not just management, but were the guys in the back washing cars, right? You kept a good working relationship with all of them. And that way when you progress and you move on and they move on, they go from washing cars to selling cars to finance to management to general manager.
Yep.
You've got that relationship built.
Yeah.
And it's about making friends.
Yeah.
I can walk into a lot of these dealerships and be like, man, I remember when you were washing cars and now you're the manager.
Yeah.
And you got to keep that in mind. It's not a race, right? It takes time to develop these, and in 20 years, you'll have relationships that are unbreakable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And wherever they go, I get calls. I got a friend that moved to North Carolina. Hey, you want to open a shop out here? Well, now he's in Georgia. Hey, you want to come down here and open a shop down here? You want to get something rolling down here?
Yeah.
I just don't have the manpower right now, but I'd love to,
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Relationships are kind of everything, especially when it comes to business, I think on your personal life, relationships they're great. Your kids, your wife, you should definitely have strong relationships. But when it comes to business, I think business at the end of the day, or the way that I view business, is money is a derivative of the relationships in which we build. And so most of us go around and we chase a thing, right? Like a number of 10 million, 15 million, 20, like we're chasing 100 million right now is what we're chasing. But we have that thing. But what you guys what most people don't realize is that thing is actually a derivative of the relationships we're building. I wouldn't have a $100 million thing if Sean didn't have 25 million of it he needed. Seth needed another 25 million. Steve needed another 25 million. And to be friends with people at our level and our standards, we must all show up to chase that 100 million together. But that's where that thing comes from, is those relationships that we're actually building, the closeness, the connection, the love in which we're trying to portray to each other and positively reinforce each other. And
depend on each other, not only financially, but to get the job done right.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's huge. And so how do you hold standards with people? I mean, because this is blue collar we're talking about. And one of the things that I hear quite often, I work with a lot of blue collar businesses. One thing that I hear is, Josh, over here on the digital side, or because I'm more, I always say that I took my trailer park work ethic into a fucking white collar world, right? And that's why I'm so good, because I have the work ethic of a blue collar person. But for the most part, blue collar people, they have a really hard time with awareness, accountability, standards, raising their standards, and that kind of stuff. I know as you get into business, you have to have more and more of that to get yourself to where you're at or we're at, et cetera. But how do you deal with blue collar workers that just aren't being accountable or don't have high standards? How do you raise their standards with them? How do you grow them? How do you coach them?
Conversation.
Yeah.
Mostly in conversation. Some people respond well in a group setting where you're talking about their work around other employees.
Yeah.
And some of them do better where you have a one-on-one with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you have to distinguish, find that angle with that person, and use it.
Yeah.
You can't just expect everybody to be the same and have the same response to criticism or constructive criticism. Some people take all criticism as negativity.
Yeah.
Some people take it as motivation. Yeah. Each individual person, you have to identify how they react to it and exploit that.
And I think you do amazing. By the way, you do an amazing job with this, and it's the only reason your company has been able to grow as big as it is. Because there's a lot of people that probably got into business the same time as you. They don't have a company like you do. They don't have the strength in relationships like you do, right? And so I think you do an amazing job leading your people. I can tell when I go into your shops, most of the time that thing is spotless because your people are treating it like it's their own. Not, as we all know, nobody's going to treat your business like you like the fucking owner, right? But at the end of the day, most of your employees, almost if not all that I've ever seen, treat that thing like it's their own, and they love on it, right? And I think so, and that only comes down from the leader. And so I think you do an amazing job when it comes to leadership and it comes to leading your crew. It's the only way possible to get yourself where you're at.
Money motivates them as well, too. So when we're doing more, we're doing better, they get paid more.
Yeah. What was it? It was I did a live the other day, and I was like, I have 37 million reasons that hit the bank account for you to show up to this fucking live.
Yep.
Like, if money doesn't motivate, nothing will, right? At the end of the day. I think that's a big motivating factor. But outside of money, because I do believe that people do things for love and connection. And so as a leader, I think that you're breathing that love and connection into each and every one of them. And that's why they show up the way they do for you and for your company.
And acknowledging people for doing better we have an employee of the month thing, They get a bonus at a lunch. Every month somebody new gets chosen.
Yeah.
So we kind of recognize people that are growing and doing better.
Yeah.
Give them a little plaque, give them a parking spot up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone on your team that's been with you, like, since the original? Like, who was your first employee?
Alan.
Is he still with you?
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Like 25 years probably or more?
Yep.
What a fucking friendship.
Yeah.
We've been working
ups and
together
downs.
for a long time. It's funny, when we first started back, was it 87 when I was down here, he was working across town, same owner, different shop, working across town. And we'd still communicate, from shop to shop and hang out every once in a while. And, of course, you wouldn't drink a lot of beer back then. So drink a beer here and there. Yeah. And then, he went to work somewhere else. I went to work somewhere else. And then we ended up working back at the same place again, later, different boss. But that's when I decided that I was going to go out on my own And I knew that Alan was, he was pretty dedicated to his job.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, why don't you come with me?
Yeah.
I'll hire you on. He was sick of working for drive-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm done. So I was like, well, let's just, I'm going to do my own thing. You want to come over here and work? And he's like, can't hurt.
Yeah.
Can't get any worse. And then here we are, he's got his own house.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? That's a really long time. How do you keep them motivated over that long a period of time? I mean, especially when I think of like compensation wise, like shit, over 25 years, it's like, that's got to be difficult.
There's been some trial and tribulations that go on. There's been some heavy discussions. There's been some instances where we had to voice our opinion a little louder than normal. But I mean, that's how guys communicate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we handle things.
Yeah.
It's not always kiss and hug.
Yeah. But here you are 25 years later and both putting your hearts and souls into something, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be able to do that. Let's circle back real quick because I think our audience earlier, we started really talking about, recession, depression, et cetera. And I think that, we kind of skipped over that. I've been reading a lot lately and studying a lot on this guy named Ray Dalio. I don't know if you guys know him. Bridgewater Associates, I think their company's worth like $127 billion, might be trillion. Who fucking knows? They own all the money. Potato. Guy is extremely wealthy. Okay, extremely wealthy. Only been wrong 3 times in his life. Writes about one of them that really almost ruined him. Back when he tried to call it the last recession or depression or whatever. Yeah. But like really almost ruined him to where he didn't come out of his shell for a couple years, went back down to being the only employee of Bridgewater back in the day, built himself back up, finally got the confidence, and now he's out there again screaming from the rooftop saying, you have 6 months.
Yep.
Like shit is going to hit the fucking fan.
Well, and I saw Warren Buffett just sold, I think, half his stake in Apple. He's now sitting on more treasury bills than the United States Treasury.
Wow.
He's got like $123 billion in cash or something crazy like that he's getting ready to just fucking sling it at whatever. It's going to be like, when shit goes south, it's like discount time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting stuff on like a fire sale.
Yeah.
Blue light special.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are all fucking...
They're getting ready.
We are circling the wagon. They are circling us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, what do you think? What do you think about that? You said, "Hey, I've never seen this much debt," and I think you're 100% right. And I know I want to preface it with this: is all these people going through COVID, everybody was like, "Oh, America's printed more money than it's ever been printed before," and all that kind of stuff. And I get that, but a lot of people don't understand the debt and our credit to cash kind of thing. And so, yeah, they printed more cash, but at the end of the day, they lowered the amount of credit that was out there. So it's still like people don't get that there's trillions of dollars of cash, but really there's 50 trillion. It's almost 50 times that amount of credit, and that's how they kind of regulate our stuff. And so I do think that printing the money probably definitely hurt the whole situation. But at the end of the day, what are your thoughts on it? Come on, give them to me. Give them to me, Bob.
I think we're going to be tested.
Yeah.
And tested at a level that nobody's ever been tested at before. I think it's going to be worse than 29. Could end up in war.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already looking at all the conflicts that we got going on right now in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Only needs one person to drop a nuclear bomb or explode a nuclear bomb in a NATO country, and we're in.
Yeah.
So there's a saying that I've always run through my mind is pray for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I'm going to ride it out as long as I possibly can. If this guy's been only wrong 3 times in his life, what if he's wrong?
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Life goes on. We're doing great.
I'd prefer not to have a world war.
You mentioned something earlier, like even if he is wrong, then he created the chicken nugget, so we're all going to be fed or
So
something?
for anyone that doesn't know, so Ray Dalio is a really good book. I think it's called Principles. It's a really good book. It talks about his whole life, but he's the reason the chicken nugget actually exists because he worked with McDonald's to do like all of the hedging, so that if like the price of chicken were to go wildly in one direction, McDonald's is like they could bet in the opposite direction basically, so that the price of the chicken nugget stays somewhat stable for their people. So he's like people tend to think hedge fund people are like just kind of assholes and super greedy and they just make money and don't do anything, but they actually provide like tons of value in those types of situations where it's like, you wouldn't fucking have the chicken nugget, motherfucker. Everybody loves a chicken nugget.
So if we're going through a depression, guys, make sure you make it over to McDonald's.
Yeah. Price of the chicken nugget will be unchanged.
They'll still be the same price.
Unchanged price of chicken nugget. Right?
From practical side though, so you said like preparing from like the business side. I know they always say like when times of recession, like people tend to focus more on like repairing and like upkeep and things like that. Like, do you see that you're getting more like kind of crappy cars that people are trying to put lipstick on, or is it still skewing high with like luxury stuff? Like, how are you preparing practically on like the business side?
So let's go back to 87, Black October, right? I was working for a place across the street from where I'm at now, literally going to college. And when the stock market crashed, we saw a huge decrease in business as far as new car sales, new car customers, and so forth. We took everything we possibly could. There was some manufacturers that came out with some cheaper product. The owner I was working for tried that too. Half the amount of material cost, to tint a car. Clear bra wasn't around back then. Hadn't even been invented yet. That came out in 90... what year was it? 94? 95? And 3M came out with that. But regardless, we did everything we possibly could to bring in every single customer. And then you slowly saw it start growing back again. Then savings and loan hit in 89 and kind of screwed things up again, and then we had to start building back again from there. But there's really not a whole lot you can do to prepare. I mean, you can put your money away, save your money. Are the banks going to FDIC insurance? Are they going to be around? Are they going to be able to take your money? Yeah. Who knows? Gold and silver is always a positive.
Gold, silver guns.
Getting ready for 5X. It's coming.
GSG, baby.
Gold, silver.
That's it.
Invest in lead.
Invest in lead.
Copper coated.
I think that's the best course of action you can take.
Yeah. Defend your family.
Yeah.
Prepare for them.
I mean, I'm not a doomsday guy, but I mean, if shit did hit the fan, I'm ready. I'm ready. But on the real side, though, a lot of businesses, I mean, one, I know that businesses are currently already struggling. And, if it does continue to get worse, I think Warren Buffett's in a really good fucking spot. Furthermore, it's like you add in there as well, the biggest wealth transfer of the world is going down right now, right? Baby boomers are passing on their shit. And most people think, oh, the biggest wealth transfer, it's in real estate or this or that. No, it's not. It's the businesses.
Businesses, yeah.
It's the actual amount of how much their business is worth and the transfer of that business to their kids or selling it or this or that. And so it's almost like this whole fucking thing is rigged. Like they're almost having a depression at the same time this biggest wealth transfer is going down. Warren Buffett's already got the fucking treasury bonds. He's ready to go.
We're getting canceled. We're getting canceled. Shadow ban.
But I'm being honest. It's like all this stuff is going down at the same time, and it just kind of it worries you to say the least. But to say the best, once again, and I think Bob said it the best, is that guys, this might not happen. It might not even happen. Ray Dalio could be incorrect. Elon Musk could be incorrect. Warren Buffett could have made the wrong move, right? And it might
happened,
not
but the world isn't destroyed.
History, we got another one coming. There's always one coming.
There's always one coming, yeah.
When? I don't
Who
know.
knows? Yeah.
How bad is it going to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
When are we going to hit bottom? We'll know when we start coming back out.
So the best way to get ready for this is to sell. Meaning you should always be focused on money-making activities, getting that fucking dollar and turning it into GSG, right?
Yep.
At the end of the day, I mean, that's the best way. So let's talk about, for a minute, we talked a little bit more about the economy, which I believe that our listeners probably really liked because it's on everybody's mind and nobody wants to talk about it, which is fucking crazy to me. It's nuts that
out of sight, out of mind. It won't crash if nobody talks about it crashing.
Nobody talks about it. It's like, no, dude, we're right here, bro.
Another thing that's killing us in small business is taxes and insurance.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, insurance
property taxes are going through the roof.
Yep.
The government's going to get their money back.
Yep.
They gave all this money away during COVID.
Yeah.
You think they're not going to recover it?
Oh, yeah.
Tenfold?
They're coming.
Oh, yeah. Raise your taxes.
Yeah.
Insurance companies, well, it costs more to rebuild that building. So now your insurance rates go up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you have one mishap. Oh, rates went up.
Yeah.
They're going to get you.
Yep.
Dude, Tracy's in my house right now. We were just going over some bills and stuff because I believe that finance is probably one of my weakest points. Like I'm the I'll go make money motherfucker. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I make more money. I'm money making activity focused.
Spend 10, I'll make 30.
Yeah, I'll make 30. I don't give a fuck. Like I'll just go make more money, and that's just how I am. But I have Tracy in there because we're trying to like dig in and this kind of stuff. And she was like, "Do you know you pay $1,300 a month in insurance?" I was like, "What the fuck? The fuck am I doing?"
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking nuts.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, fucking Dodge D50 Ram, okay? Fucking working construction. I was hotsy carrying fucking bricks and shit so people could fucking hang it on the side of buildings. I was pretty much a bitch, right? I was like the concrete bitch. I was making $300 a week. I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
And my insurance was $115. And I, like, every month, I would be like, nah, I don't know if I'm going to pay that. That's so fucking
I don't know
high.
if I really need it.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'll chance it. I think I'll chance it for a couple
Yeah,
of months.
I'm looking at my money and I'm like, I don't fucking think so. Now here I am paying 10 times that.
Yeah.
Not even fucking questioning. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Creeps up.
That's nothing. My workman's comp is $18,000 a year.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
You know, my shop insurance for the shops is about $1,400 a month.
Damn.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You got unemployment, FICA, Social Security, everything you got to match.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because it's out of control.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It just and then they fucking pigeonhole you, and it's like, no, make everybody a fucking contractor, you pieces of shit. They can buy their own tools, they can do it, and then they come in, workman's comp comes in and pigeonholes you, and like, they're using your shop though. They got it in, and it's like all this bullshit. It's all just to get more money out of you at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's a bunch of garbage. But at the end of the day, I get it. But here's the coolest thing, guys, and I know a lot of you listening to this right now, you're entrepreneurs. And here's the cool thing. As a business owner, I almost look at business owners as, you guys remember like back in the day in like history when you start looking at like the king, the queens, and all that kind of shit, and how they would have like knights, right? And so you'd have the king, queen, and then they would like, okay, this guy over here, like we had Osborne Castle. Remember when we were in England and I was like telling you about that? Yep. So we had Osborne Castle, and then they gave us like 6,000 acres, and we were looking over that acreage. But what we had to do is we collected from all the people that lived on that acreage and gave it back to the queen. So we were like the collectors of money. That's how businesses are now with the United States. They're like the knights, right? They're the people that were given the land. And so we're given all these people to look over so that we can take their fucking tax from them before they're even paid, and we can pay the fucking government.
And then you got to ask, what's the government paying me for doing this? They're not.
They're not.
That's called slavery.
Yeah, no shit. And so that's how it's going down, just so you guys know. But at the end of the day, it's like we are treated better because there are loopholes when it comes to having a business. I would much rather have a business. When you have a business, right, you make money, you pay your fucking bills, you try to make sure you have nothing, and so that you can fuck the government at the end of the day, and you only pay tax on what you have left, right? And so, that's the nice thing about a business, because most of these people that go around that are employees, right, they're getting taxed before they ever get paid.
Right.
They're taking their money up front, and then the poor people are going to the stores and getting more taxed, going to get gas, getting more tax, can't get a pack of cigarettes for less than $10. It's nuts.
Yep.
It's nuts. And they're probably like me, like I was, and looked at $115 insurance. Fuck this shit. I ain't doing this shit.
It makes it difficult for people in that position to invest their money and invest it in a home, buy a home. I mean, interest rates are out of control. Home prices are out of control.
Yeah.
And they're getting nickel and dime to death on their paycheck.
Yeah.
So it makes it really difficult for just an employee, not like back in the old 40s and 50s where they could buy a home and have to worry about insurance on everything.
Yeah.
And pay licenses and fees for everything.
Yep.
It's just a lot more difficult for people nowadays.
Yeah.
I saw something interesting. I think I could be completely wrong about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think 100 ounces of gold, I think it's 100 ounces of gold could buy you the median home price in the United States still today compared with back in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. So it's like if you're actually consider the price of gold and how devalued the dollar's gotten, it's stored its value over that period of time. So
Gold has stored its value.
Way to look at that.
Yeah.
What was it an ounce back in the 40s?
Fuck, who knows?
Like $13-14 an ounce.
Yeah, it had to be super
$100 an
low.
ounce.
Yeah.
That's almost $2,500 an ounce today.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Times 10, 250,000.
Yeah.
$400,000 for a house nowadays.
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of crazy.
Which was a house back in the 40s and the 50s.
I don't know. Like I said, I could have been making that up, but I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere.
Can somebody fact check this?
Fact check, Elijah. Go fact check that.
Fact check this motherfucker,
go
bro.
Google median home price
in the United States.
Price of gold over history or something like that. We'll find out if I was a liar.
I think you're trying to give it to him.
I have it right here on my phone.
I'm pretty sure it's true.
Yeah, gold's definitely. But what about this? Like, I know for everything that I've been watching, it's like, gold is undervalued right now.
Silver's way undervalued
right now, right? Like, fuck, me and D are picking up thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of silver right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure I copied his ass, so he knows what's up. But yeah, silver at the end of the day is probably the way to go. Is that the way you would lean, silver?
I would go silver just because it's the gold-silver ratio.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the price of silver relative to gold at any point in time? And it's heavily skewed towards silver right now. Yeah. So it's just a better value for your dollar. But I think both. I think gold, there's more of a psychological thing, man. Like looking at a 10-ounce bar of gold in your hand is just like, fuck yeah, there's something about that. There's something about that.
Look at it like this. I got to skate out the door, and I can only fill my bag up.
Yeah.
We're going to fill it up with gold or silver.
Yeah.
They're going to be gold, isn't it?
Well, it depends. So silver, easier to trade. Like gold, you got an ounce of silver and you want to buy a loaf of bread. But kind of fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
You're out there with your pocket knife, whittling a little piece off. To give it to them.
Yeah.
I think both of you have really good points. Yeah. For sure. I don't know how I'm going to lug all this silver out of here.
It's like, fuck. Buried in the
That's a very good fucking
You got
point.
a dually and a camper, right?
Yeah. Load that camper up.
Fucking camper out.
What is that, lead or silver?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good way to think about it.
So I have a question. Were you always into cars? Like, are you a car guy?
My first car was a 1970 Dodge Challenger 446 pack.
I feel like anybody that says it like that, you know the car.
Still own it.
And you still own it.
Bought it when I was 15. It wasn't even legal to drive it when I bought it.
Did you keep it? You've had it the entire time?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's restored.
He just told his kid he could drive it.
What's that?
You just told your son the other day that he could drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you've always been into it. Always into cars.
Always into cars, accessories. I didn't really get in too much. I still stayed with the old muscle cars when everybody was getting into the Hondas and the Acuras and stuff. It wasn't my forte. But they were fun as hell to drive, those little turbo 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Fast as hell. It was such a light car. But I still like the old muscle cars.
Yeah. Do you collect them now still? Like,
yes.
you get a good deal on something?
If I find something, which there's very little of out there now that are good deals, but yeah. I'll take advantage of it.
That's awesome. So you've always been into it.
Always been into it. What do you think? So when we're talking about your business specifically, because there's probably people that listening, other states that do window tint and all that kind of stuff. Because I know when I first got with you, you were hyper focused on like window tint, clear bra, right? Clear bra, things like that. Now you're also doing car wraps and all of that, right?
Vinyl design.
Vinyl design.
It's a hell of an investment to get there, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
If you can come up with the money to buy your own latex printing machine, or if you can network with somebody else that has one, and that way you can do your own print. Businesses are always in need of advertising.
Yeah.
And one of the things I compare a vinyl wrap to on a car is a billboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So how much does a billboard cost? It's $1,500 a month. You get it for a month.
Yep.
How much does a wrap cost on a car?
$5,000, $7,000.
Right.
Yep.
And you've got it for 3 years.
You got it forever.
And you've got it on at least 3 sides. You got the back of the vehicle, possibly the front, and definitely both sides.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you don't overload it with information, just what you do and keep it simple, people will look at that and they'll hit it on their phone. QR codes are the way to go. Put a QR code on everything. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy. People can hit that on their phones. That's definitely a moneymaker for anybody. But then again, it takes that relationship networking, getting in with the right people that own the businesses to get them convinced to put it on their vehicles.
Yeah. You do stuff on the outside of their businesses as well, like their windows and all that.
Yeah, we'll do
stuff.
perf on the outside to advertise their businesses. You can do like a live photo, like what we did for Triple Threat Boxing Gym. We put a picture of the coaches, the kids, Wilson Brothers grappling. We did the whole front of that store up, so they really don't even need a sign above.
Yeah.
You can see it from the street.
It's right there on the window.
Yeah.
blasted out there. That's awesome.
So when you buy those machines, are you the type of guy, because I feel like people are in two camps, like do you only buy that stuff with like cash, or do you like leverage debt to buy like new machines and all that type of stuff?
Some people might get a loan to do it, but I'm the philosophy is to save up,
own it,
put your money away, own it, and get the warranty. Because those things are not cheap to repair.
Yeah.
They're not cheap to repair. And when you go down, you're like, damn, I should have got two.
Yeah.
If that's the only thing you take from this fucking podcast here today is get the warranty, it was worth it.
Did you get the warranty on your gutter machine?
On Bob's face when he said
like, get the warranty. Did you do that with your gutter machine? Because you were the same way. It's like, fuck, I'm just gonna go buy the gutter machine.
Yeah, no, I just like, in all honesty, this is how the gutter company started. Okay, so I built this building that we're in right now. Okay, and I got a bid back on doing the fucking gutters, 6-inch gutters and all that, and it was $15,000. Okay. And I was like, motherfucker. So I looked up a gutter machine. It was $16,250 to buy the gutter machine.
Guess I'm going to the gutter business.
I had a trailer sitting in my yard. I called up Justin because I knew he did gutters for 10 years at another, before he started doing all the other shit with me. And I was like, what do you think about starting a gutter company? He goes, I've always wanted to get back into it. And I was like, cool, you got a gutter company. Let's fucking go.
That's awesome.
And so that's how it started. Now we're running three trucks.
Right time.
Yeah.
Right place, right time. That's half a business right there. Right place, right time.
Well,
being willing to take that chance to get into it.
Yeah. Now I think we did 12,000 profit last month. So I'm doing like 12,000 profit a month off of it now.
Yeah.
And it's like clockwork. It's nothing.
Little piece of the pie.
Little piece of the pie. Just get it going. Yep.
Yeah.
So
just grow the pie.
That's a good return.
Just little bits, but let's get back in and talk a little bit more about your business specifically. Obviously, sales mean a lot, right?
Yep.
And so, what percentage of your business is driven online versus boots on the ground versus whatever, word of mouth kind of stuff?
Dealerships still run a high percentage.
Yeah.
And retail sales, online sales, is very big, about 3 to 3.5 months out of the year.
Okay.
There's another 2 months in there that it's still good, but not as good as summertime.
Yep.
You know, when the sun comes out, it's easier to sell.
Yeah, we're in fucking Colorado.
Yeah.
Place.
Yeah. When the sun comes out, they remember who you are. They jump in the car, and the ass burns on those leather seats.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I need to get these windows tinted.
Yeah.
You know, so a little reminder.
Yeah.
So
and you see a lot of, and the thing is Bob, you see a lot of businesses come and go. I mean, I've been with you for years, and I went back and looked at our text messages. Some of the businesses you were talking about 3-4 years ago for me to check out,
gone.
They're fucking gone. I'm like, where'd that guy go? You know what I mean? They're just in and out. So
because what it takes to get you there will take to keep you there.
Yep.
That motivation that you have now, you'll need to have it when you're 60 if you want to stay in the business.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of sacrifice that goes on. I missed a lot of kids' sports. I missed a lot of kids' games.
Yeah.
You know, it sucked.
Yeah.
But
they lived a better life.
It gave them an opportunity, you know, to go to college.
Yeah. Work in your business too and take it over and do something they love and have something that they control and see a hardworking man in their life. I feel like nowadays, if we get into this a little bit, you guys know I'm big on family, but nowadays I think that there's not enough actual men out there anymore. There's not enough men willing to put in the work and willing to actually father kids. And so it's kind of sad and depressing, but I feel like the last stand on that is entrepreneurs, people that have taken control of their finances and their life and that kind of stuff, and that show up for their kids. Yeah, they might not get as much time with their children as if they worked a 9 to 5, but who the fuck is that dad that works a 9 to 5 to show up for his fucking kid anyway? Yeah. Showing your kid that you can be controlled by somebody else, right? That you're on somebody else's dime, that you're controlled. When the economy goes down, you're waiting on that fucking paycheck that's never going to come, right? You have no other way to provide for that family, right? Never thought through it. And so I feel like the last stand when it comes to fatherhood and family, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like a lot of it comes from entrepreneurs. The best fathers that I've ever seen in families are entrepreneurs, and they figure out a way to balance. Because I know you're a great father. You show up for every fucking boxing match. Your kids all do sports. You figure out a way. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, and I make it happen now. I wasn't always able to do that, but I do now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and
we travel. You know, the boxing takes you all over the United States. Yeah. So my son will travel all over.
Everywhere.
You know, California, Louisiana, Midwest, East Coast. I mean, we just go everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they involved in your business, on Josh's point about how it's this wealth transfer?
Right. So my kids, I really wanted them to go to college.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I wanted them to go to college was to learn this professionalism. You know, you don't always learn it at home, but when you got to stay up until midnight to get that paper done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you struggle in school to get those grades, and you got pressure from your parents, you got pressure from the school to get this thing and get it done. It teaches them a level of professionalism, right? So they went to college and did really well. And when they got out in their industry, they found that it doesn't pay as well as dad, right? But I wanted them to go do it. I wanted them to learn it. I wanted them to see it.
Yeah.
I wanted them to see how that 9-to-5 job working for somebody else that you really don't care about, what that feeling is like.
Yeah.
Well, you did it the right way, because let's keep it real. There's so many dads out there right now, or moms or whatever. Like when you transfer your business, you're going to be able to transfer it right to your kids. Like they're already in the business working it. They're figuring it out. They're doing it.
Another day.
But the sad thing is that most parents are not in the same situation as you, because they tried to force their kid in there and their kid doesn't want to do it. Now, as you know, all kids just want to go digital. And so every kid just wants to use AI and not have to work. But I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of parents are in the position where they have these businesses. Their kids don't want them. And they're sitting there going, I don't want to work the rest of my fucking life. I'm either going to have to sell this thing, or I'm going to have to figure out something to where this thing runs itself. And let's keep it real. Most business owners work their ass off to try to build something that can run without them, but they don't get there. You know what I mean? The next level of that is building a business in which thrives without you. And they usually don't get there either. So a lot of these people are stuck right now getting ready to sell their shit to Warren Buffett. I see it happening right now.
When they were younger coming up, like, did you have them like in your shop, like putting wraps on cars and tinting and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure did.
Sure did.
Sure as hell did.
Sure did. And then he tried to force him out. You see the reverse psychology here? He's like, come rap shit. Yeah, you got really good at that. Go to fucking college. Get the fuck out of here. You're not taking over this business.
It was a summertime job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to work in the summer. You're not going to sit at home and sleep in until 11 o'clock. Get up, fucking eat Fruit Loops, watch cartoons. Oh, no. Sweep the floor. Pick that shit up.
Yeah.
Even when I was working out of my garage at home, I'd still have my kids come out, my older boys, and clean the floor up.
Yeah.
Clean the floor up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit there watching, I don't care if you're 3 years old. Pick that shit up, put it in the trash can.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just learn how to walk. Well, learn how to walk and pick that up, put it in the trash can.
Making it a little game.
Yeah.
That was really smart what you did right there. I see that, Bob.
Yeah.
Fucking force them out. It's like, hey, let me show you how to make some money.
You want to see the real world?
You go see the fucking real world, motherfucker.
Go see the real world.
Now they're
like
back in
flipping burgers?
They're happy as shit now. They're like, fuck yeah, I'm working at my dad's company. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is cool.
And I get paid more.
Yeah, they get paid more.
I make more.
That's cool.
Do they? Does the government like tax? Is that considered like an estate tax or something like that when you pass it on to them? Like, are they going to get taxed for taking over the business, or how does that work?
It's all trust. You set up a trust.
Perfect. Good job.
So everything but a trust.
Yep. And then no tax.
Yep.
That's cool.
And that way the government doesn't get involved either when you die. That doesn't go into probate, doesn't go into anything.
Yeah. Just the trust owns it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back to this. When you first came in here, I said how relentless you are. And so relentless really comes back to mindset. Where did you develop that mindset? And not just in yourself, but I see it in your kids as well. They seem relentless. The people around your shop, they seem relentless. Where did you really pick that up? Where did you pull it in from? And then, tell us a little bit about how it's allowed you, how it's carried you so far, because it really has. It's carried you fucking tremendous. Where you started in your garage to where you are today is most people's fucking dream.
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Christian boys' school. When I was 12, we
Getting
whipped our
beaten by
fucking
the
asses
nuns.
up. Beat, whipped. Yeah.
Josh Cale, do you hear this?
That's where I learned my work ethic.
Yeah.
We would work before school.
Yep.
We went to school in the church. We went to school until about noon.
Yeah.
When we were done with school, back to fucking work.
Yeah.
Hoeing, moving rocks, building stuff. We spent an entire summer cutting logs down. We spent the 6 months after that in the winter cutting them on a log on a sawmill in Cody. We transported them out to Clark, built cabins, mixed the concrete by hand.
Yeah, there you go.
It was work. Well, after a while, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's repetition.
Yeah.
Right. So everything from then on, whatever I had a job or a project in front of me, it was work till it's done. Get it done. Let's go. You know, when I first started my business, there'd be days I'd show up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't leave until 2 a.m. the next day.
Yeah. Get it done.
No breaks. No run down to McDonald's.
That work ethic. A lot of kids nowadays, and I won't even say kids, a lot of men nowadays even don't have work ethic.
Because they're collecting an allowance.
Yeah, it's
Used to collect an allowance from their parents.
It's so crazy. You know, it was beat into my brain as well, you know, being around I was raised by my grandfather when I was younger, and so being around that, and then going to my uncle's house when I was adopted, he owned multiple companies as well since 12. I was I was digging out shit from septics, trying to fix septics. Like, I'm serious, waist deep in shit at 12 years old. 12 years old, and just working my ass off every single day. Everybody talks about going over with their friends Saturdays and Sundays. Fuck no. Saturdays and Sundays were full days of work. Yeah. That's all that meant.
Yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays meant, oh, yeah, we get you for 13 hours, motherfucker. Yeah. That's what it meant. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you came home dusty, tired, like you just took a shower, went to bed. That's what you did.
And that's what I did when I was first started my business.
Yeah.
Sunday morning. I'd be down there just like any other day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful. And it got you to where you are today, and that's what most people are missing. So if you're just starting a business, understand it does take fucking work. You're not going to get there free of charge. You're not going to be able to throw a bunch of money at it. Maybe your daddy left you some money. You think you can fucking throw it at it? Miss me with it. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes ruthlessness in order to make these things happen. And to keep these things moving forward, it takes hard work. So if you don't have hard work, you're not going to make it happen. Bob, before we end today, what is the last thing you want to leave these people with? Your brain drop on everybody here. Give us that.
What it takes to get you there, what it takes to keep you there.
Yeah.
You know, whatever as hard as you're working now, you've got to maintain that level.
Yeah.
You know, there's no special, there's no magic to it. It's hard work.
Yeah. But if you put it in.
It's being there, it's being concerned, day in, day out. Micromanage, if you want to call it. But it's your livelihood. It's your life.
Yeah.
You know,
treat it like a business.
No going back. I'm unemployable now.
That's true. So pretty much what I hear you saying is, don't treat your fucking business like a hobby. Treat it like a business.
That's right.
And then you'll be just fine. Cool. With that, anything else? Let's roll.